Hey everyone, how you doing today? Thought I'd get probably a final update on this carrier before it's released, and show some more new modules. Bunch of modules. Um, so essentially, a lot has been done to the carrier even since the it was brought into the live stream. I've been kind of working on this fair amount with every time I could get here. Some major changes that were done from the last time I showed this. One, the hull material has been switched to hardened steel. That's the entire ship, so it no longer is made of carbon substrate. We found that it could still move with a big payload in Reforged Eden gameplay. At least, of course, with the 8 quantum cores that this particular version has in it and all the thrust power. But yeah, we loaded this up with all kinds of stuff, and we parked like Excalibur Xiphos and the Trebuchet and the Creel interfector and modules that a new module that was full, and a bunch of tanks and SVs and CV miners and more CV miners and CV reclaimers, and it could still hit max, or it could still hit the speed it needed to in space to warp, was the big thing with all that loaded. So obviously it would be lighter if it was carbon substrate, but that also, I think, the peace of mind of knowing how squishy the ship would be, I think would make people so nervous to do anything with it. So, anyway, let's get into the nitty gritties. One of the changes that were made for a second time actually is I redid these guidelines going into all the bays. A little bit new LCD graphics here. And I'll show you how that works with all these modules chilling out over here by quite a few different people. So every one of these bays has some kind of new LCD. Now these bays here I still don't believe are ideal for the intent of mounting some kind of CV weapons platforms that you can deploy out in space, but I'm going to work on one of those too and see if I can still use this docking method to make something a little bit bigger that fits in here a lot more than my original prototype does. And the other ones do work, so you can park stuff in there. It's just necessarily these guidelines don't necessarily work for that. And then there's guidelines out in the back. I did a lot of like texturing things. I also added like placements for more turrets. It's got another 4 of those on back and 2 on the front bottom area of the ship. I did add more turrets in general. It does have some retractable turrets up in the front of the ship on the sides right now. Try to put them out of the way as best as possible. Now everything has lights and sensors in it. So let's start tour with some LCDs here. So we got our medical bay sign. I put some random LCDs above hangar doors just to give it some color, I guess. Some little like laser looking color light beams. So that's on the front door, kind of out beyond there, and on the side. Now one of the problems the ship had was gravity. It would be lost in mid-ship. So Garaman actually gave me some heads up that he moved some gravity generators and suggested I do that, and I did do that, and yeah, awesome. So the gravity generators I did have, I had one in this room over here. Now I reutilize this room for OP, which is offline protection. In case you want to add that, you got a spot for it now. On the other side, I had a gravity generator I took and filled that area in with some cargo boxes that used to be on the back wall here. And the back wall now has 2 gravity generators kind of installed in there, but it's not obstructive, and that is really cool because it's not going to mess with your coming in the hangar door, and it also does not mess with the docking out in this bay here. So it's kind of self-contained. These were extra thick walls with the framework, and then 2 layers thick anyway, so that worked out quite well actually. So that should fix the gravity issue. Now more LCDs on the inside here. Now in the center hallway we have some LCDs instead of just a decal for the signs. So like module bay 3 currently docked available. Now how I did there's 2 LCDs per module bay, and I try to just keep these very obvious. So they're right out there. The one on the left side would be actually doing the graphics that you see here, and the one on the right side, and this was, I did 2, so it'd be easy to change. So like if we go to the one on the right side and say we docked a ship here, if we hop in here, you just see the word available. Now this is in there to make it positioned right. So like say if you dock a ship, and we'll call this Super Ship Module, I should use caps so it looks cooler, right? Okay, Super Ship Module 1. And then we can even set a color. It uses the color palette here. So bam, Super Ship Module 1. Oh, it looks like it's limited on the number of... Did I not... hold on. Let me see what I've got here. Oh, you know what? The width. I think I need to up the width. And then I would probably have to redo the positioning. Another bug. I wanted to allow you to have a bigger word in there. So let me just alter that. It does have a... No, it doesn't actually have a position command here. So it probably should, though. Crap. Well, anyway, that's how it's supposed to work. I just made too long of a name for a ship, so it didn't fit quite right. But it'll allow you to, when you dock something, you could set quickly what is docked there and view it from the inside hallway. Not that you would necessarily forget. There's only 4 docking bays on the side, but, you know, you got to have it, right? On the back, too, I also added in these LCDs to guide you in docking dropships to this. Trying to think of other changes that were made. There's been changes all over the place. So much little stuff, though. I mean, just little tweaking this, tweaking that, tweaking the other thing. I did add a couple LCDs in this room, too. So utility production bay and the ammo production bay signs. Yeah. Well, anyway, that's where it's at. I believe short of that other new little bug I recently discovered. So I'll modify my one LCD so this lines up better. Yeah, I just got to adjust it for the width. No big deal. All right, well, on module bays, a whole ton of them are parked around here right now. Now, I made one module bay myself, and then we've got some from Alicia, Garmin, let's see who else here. Rooster Rob and NMK 111. NMK 111. There you go. So start with I'll show you what I've got. I made a module for production. I'm just calling it the Helios production module 1. I don't know. I didn't know exactly what to call it. And that's this one here. And I utilized the idea of not having solar panels sticking out the back side of the ship, and I just kind of embedded them in the ceiling because they seem to work just fine, parked underneath the flight deck. So this one is all about production. It doesn't have near as much storage as another module, but this one has 8 320K cargo systems, 8 advanced constructors, 2 deconstructors, 4 small constructors, and 4 cargo boxes, or 6 cargo boxes, my fault. And that's about it, really. It has a engineering area in the back, which you probably don't need to go to, but also has some solar capacitors in here, and generators, and fuel, and all the stuff you would normally find in engineering areas. The cores down here, the necessary CPU blocks are embedded in here as well. This actually comes out below CPU at the tier level it's set to, so it's got extra room. One function I was thinking about doing with this, and I did add a Wi-Fi. We brought this module into the live stream as well, but it didn't have a Wi-Fi, so I did slap one of those in here. I need to add LCDs around the constructors yet, something I haven't done. Let's dock this here a minute. So here we'll just fly around. Let me turn on the HUD again. So these new guidelines I'm testing. I'm hoping that's not too gaudy, but essentially you line up at the white dot, and having the multiple layers, you can kind of see how you're lined up at a distance, because if you're way off, all these lines will look kind of steer you in the right direction. Like you want to point at the white dot in the middle, and then you fly right through them, right to the wall, and then lift up a little bit, or just push forward a little bit, and bam, you're docked. And seems to prove pretty decent docking. Quick, easy, pretty brainless, as long as you and everything on the ship should dock the same. So even if you're doing a module in back, like Helios MF or Helios PM1. So let's just see how this works out. So the LCDs with the little decal next to them are the ones that you would actually change. Again, I might have to modify that for longer names. Let's just say Helios. I see. Yeah, this word would be too long too. Production. We'll just call it. How about Helios PM1? That'll fit. Okay, so now we got the currently docked Helios PM1, and it is truly docked there. So we got that going on. All right. So next module I want to show you here. This is by NMK 111. This is the Cargonaut 1812. Yeah, check out the design work on this. It's got all this. It's got a lot going on. I mean, it really does. It's love the shaping, the framework look, the industrial look it has going on. Really cool how all this was set up over here too. It's got a light. It's got a walk path, intended hallway, some turrets on here. Here. I'm gonna dock this, and we'll go explore it here a minute. Well, maybe I should here. Let's dock it and then explore. So let me get lined up to the crosshair here. Balance out, and I think we're looking pretty good. Straight, a little too tall. Oh, a little too. Screwing this up. There we go. So these new LCD indicators are essentially doing the exact same thing. Oh wow. Oh, I see my LCD is getting in the way. He put in an LCD. That's cool. All right, so let's get through here a minute. Let's see. So inside of here, this is a little more than just your normal module here. So obviously you do have some storage. Input 1, 320K. Input 2, 320K over here. A couple advanced constructors. Oh, advanced constructors, yes. Yeah, but then that is like, yeah, you gotta have some style. So like this thing's a whole like place. I mean, check this out. Inside of here, it's got a whole room, kitchen, bathroom, cooking place, couch, TV. I love these LCD lines over the windows too, kind of like shades, blinds, I should say. And this one has a warp core as well. So, and it looks like we got a deconstructor out back. Going out this way, we've got another like, oh wow, medical facility. Check that out. Brain. Yeah. Hey, the brain's at 1. That's good. That's probably good, right? Brain at 1. Gravity field, medical stuff, beds. Wow. So this thing does a lot of stuff. Oh, it's even got its own gravity. Very, very nice. Very nice. So one heck of a module here. So let's see how we Okay, so from up here, oh yeah, we just walk across the ramp right out into the docking port. Oh, that's cool. That is cool. So this was called the Cargonaut 1812. We'll test this one more time here. Will that fit? Yeah, let's give it a, we'll call it that color. No, not yet. Okay, I'll fix that. So we get bigger names in there. Something I didn't think about. All right. Well, so moving on. Next module. This is so cool. I gotta say, I'm really digging this. I mean, in game too, it's kind of exciting because you got like this mobile space station, modular with all these things you can add to it, all the stuff you can move around. It is definitely a kind of a ship for a nomadic gameplay type, and that's kind of something that I'm more into myself. I don't like necessarily, especially with the whole galaxy at this point, to be tied down really to keep on having to return to a spot, especially if you don't have like a 500 light year warp drive. It's you don't want to go too far away because you got to get back, and this way you just park this wherever you are. Next module here, this is a souped up version of the empty DM850MT by Alicia. This is, I think, just set up so you've got a lot of room inside to add whatever the heck you want in here. Yeah, it's looking sharp too. Definitely looking sharp. Just a lot of room. Big open floor space, module all set up to dock. Look at all the people you can bring along with you. That is cool. Let's get this one docked in here somewhere. See if I do a little better job this time. So I'm still wondering if my LCD, my new displays are a little too busy. I had a stripped down version, but then I was like, man, let's try to make that look better. I do like the effect when you get close, and you can tell exactly what your height is by the multiple levels of LCDs here, so you can kind of get that little white guide path in the center. I just wonder if those icons are a little too big, or maybe they're just that they're white. But yeah, as in docking these things, it's just been getting easier and easier. Obviously, I've been doing it more, but yeah. So and the accuracy. I mean, I suck at docking ships, but the accuracy at docking these, even with me, is pretty good. So yeah, sweet. So this is going to be a module just for do-it-yourself, kind of like put in your own parts, whatever you want. Another one by Alicia, the Helios Garden module. This one is really been tweaked. Beautiful garden module. A lot of grow plots, a lot of farming stuff. I don't think the grow lights are on right now. Let me see if there's switches here, or maybe we have to manually. Maybe there's a P menu front light. Nope. Oh, duh. I'm blind. Bam. There we go. Yeah, that's perfect too. Because I mean, if you're not growing stuff, you don't want the grow lights on. I usually do that too, because even if it doesn't use that much power, it probably uses some, but it's just having all the pink lights all over the place can be annoying. So yeah, this thing's got everything. You got all this production stuff and cooking stations and fridge and more fridges and more fridges, and this is just one of the 2 floors on it. And obviously a whole lot of grow plots. Ooh, what's this? User guide, switch on the top right. The switch on the top right side, if activated, shut down the power and thrusters as if you're in flight. Ah. Gravity detector. Oh, that's cool. That's probably not a bad idea, actually, to have like some kind of power down option in these things. So power safe. So that probably turns off the... Yeah, looks like the thrusters are all off right now. Ah, very slick option. I like that. Oh, and it's got some storage in here. Nice, nice. So we got a couple looks like a couple 320K storage units out there. It looks like the core blocks are right up front here. And grow lights for how cool is that? Yeah, this is quite a farm. Seriously. Oh, look at the LCD by engineering too. This has got a shield on it too. So solar capacitors, yeah. Very cool. Very cool ship. Liking this here. I'll just fly through the ceiling here a minute and we'll get this one docked in there somewhere. Alright. How we do? Nice. Nice. Yeah, well, that is how the main docking modules are working. Now there's another one here, and this is by Garmin, and this is one that we brought in. I think so. Or we were gonna bring in. We used it in testing because we used this module because it has an impressive amount of storage on it. That being, I believe, it is 20. 320K cargo systems in here, plus some additional cargo boxes and things too. So this thing is just a monster storage module. It's this one's done a little differently though, because it's kind of like it's open. It's open to space. So I mean, it doesn't. I don't believe this one does production. This is all about storage, which I think is perfect because yeah, 320K storage thing that almost matches the entire storage of the Carapace C7, which is a much larger ship. Well, yeah, but that's cool. That's cool. Now, when we took this out testing, we at first we loaded 4 of these. We docked 4 of these ships, all loaded. All 20 of these cargo bays were loaded with elevator blocks up to the max limit of 320K apiece, and the ship could move with 4 of those, and a trebuchet, a Xiphos, and an interfector all parked on it as well, and be able to warp yet. So, and that's with the hardened steel hull like it has now. And yeah, these modules too. When they're fitting into, it's kind of cool. Like these 2 by Elysia, they really match the contour of the ship. These modules don't have to, and but it's really cool. Like NMK's one is a little bit longer, kind of goes off the edge, but it's got all those exposed solar panels. There's these other 2 cargo modules here too. One is I believe I showed these in a past video, but or we've seen it in the stream. One of these was a side drop ship. Oh yeah, I still have a stand spider on there. Yeah, so we did take a look at these too, and they're also very cool. I love the shaping on it. Oh, they're both the same. I got 2 copies of the same one here. Just one's not named right. Okay. Anyway, some more modules. So now another one on the back here. This is by Rooster Rob. This is a drop ship for the back of here. Now, basically, the function of one of these would be to pick up HVs and SVs or whatever you dock to here throughout the ship and then bring them planet side. At least one option. I mean, the main option with one of these drop ships. Oh, look at this. Oh, that's a spiffy looking hangar. Yeah. Oh, it's got a door out the backside too. That's actually that's a good way to do it. One thing I didn't think about when I set up these drop ships from docking here. I'll mount this first. Now these have doors on the side here, and they have to line up to the LCDs over on this part. Either it doesn't have to have both. It can either be right or left, so you don't have to waste too much space. but this is just one of those weird requirements. So this one here should dock the exact same way as the others, except my yellow LCDs back there are making it a little harder to see the white dots, but I still know exactly where I'm at docking, which is good. Some of these ships are a little faster than others, so they don't fine tweak quite the same. Oh. Should be pretty close, and maybe my circle's a little bit off there too. Yeah, I might have to modify those again. So this one obviously has landing gear, so it can like dock on other ships. So once that docks up, we open up the hangar door here. Oh, check this out. Yeah. So yeah, you just drive your stuff right on here, and then you can drive off once you're planet side, right on the back side of the ship. Yeah. Very nice. Awesome work on this. So yeah, there's going to be just a ton of modules for this too. I mean, I'm interested in building a couple more too. My next thing I want to try to address though is I want to try to dial in, at least with me building something, I want to try to make these like sensory ports or build something that works pretty good for that. There's been some other ones and they dock in pretty far in there, and that's good because there's a lot of space there, and I'm going to try to go for that same concept, but I'm going to try to make them actually dock on these outer mounts like I kind of wanted it to and line up with this, but also have it go in fairly far, and try to figure out if I can figure out a way also to allow a player to access it easy from like the front side here. So the other ones that were made were doing that, and they probably just did it better than I did. So that's pretty much what I've got for today, and I know Excalibur is also building a drop ship. I don't know what else is in production right now, if anybody else is working on some modules, but my release schedule on this, I'm probably going to release this Sunday. I've been doing Saturdays, but this Saturday I've got some other things to do, and unless I try to do all this during Excalibur's challenge stream, which I don't want to do. So I'll just put this to Sunday. It'll give me a little bit more time with the ship, see if anything else comes up. I already know I need to address the spacing a little bit on those interior label sign LCDs. But yeah, other than that, I think this is just about ready. Oh, and a big thing I'm going to have to do now. I talked about this before. I want to release and I don't like to do this, trust me, but I think I'm going to need to release a Reforged Eden version and a vanilla version of this ship. There's too many changes, and the thing that's really throwing me is what to do with the solar that I have in here. It does not translate. Like I would have to, if I were to make a one ship fits all, I would have to remove all the solar and the capacitors out of engineering, as well as be on two different CPU levels with two different levels of like thrusters and what core blocks it has. And there's so many things that I'd have to change or modify it or strip and off it to have one ship working for both Reforged and vanilla. That I just didn't want to do it, and this would be a real chore dealing with the solar panels, because then I'd have to remove all these for the stock version, try to put in placeholders on where they go, but I would have to fill these in with other blocks and remove all the capacitors and stuff like that. It's just like it's making it a little too complicated. So I think in this case it would make more sense to have two versions. It'll give me a peace of mind, so then I can fully see how both versions, load it up, give them as much, like the vanilla version is going to come with more thrusters than the Reforged Eden version, because there's a lot more CPU available. But the vanilla version cannot have the maximum potential of thrusters that the Reforged Eden version has, because it'll go over CPU then. stuff like that. And yeah, I do like the idea of solar as well. So there is that. Um, but yeah, it's just about done. Just about done. It's been a lot of work trying to get all this stuff rolling, but I'm happy. I got pretty motivated the last few days. Well, I've been motivated on the whole project really, but yeah, it's just about done. And I think unlike the like the MCRN Leviathan, which was a really big ship, this one does the functionality of that ship, plus it's modular, and it's way smaller in size, class, and cost, and has considerably not a lot of fluff on this ship. They're really, I mean, engineering's functional. This hangar's functionable. The only real fluff I have on this ship is if you were to go up here to floor 2, you'll have a crew area, and it's not very big. You have like a little kitchen, eating area. You have a sleeping area, watch TV at night area, a bunch of beds, and then off to the side room over here. This goes off to a core room, and right now in this version I've got 8 quantum cores plus all your regular main cores of the ship out in this section. And the reason why I put it here and not in engineering is I wanted to separate all these, because I do not believe the AI will target these. But if they're in proximity of parts they will target, then they could get destroyed. Like, so these are just away from everything. They're kind of like back embedded over here, I guess. I did put in that turret, though. I wonder if that would cause any issues. That should be far enough away. Yeah, the turret's up there and the cores are down here. Yeah, I think that should be good. Basically, I just wanted to make sure, even if you really had some big time problems and you got jumped on by a bunch of other stuff and you started taking a bunch of damage and they even shut down your ship, maybe blew up a thruster module back here, or and blew up the core that's in engineering out in this section, that you could get back and running quicker that way, because you could dump a core in again, and all your like CPU cores should be hopefully safe on the other side of the ship, especially if you had the far more expensive yet quantum cores or something installed in here. Now, a ship like this, to get it to the potential that it's at right now with I even could add some more turrets and things, but it does require a lot of CPU. So with the 8 quantum cores that I have in here right now, it brings it up to 3.7 million CPU. It's got a little bit left over, but it is using most of that stock, almost. Yeah. However, you could probably add some more like flak turrets or something on those other turret positions here and there. Now, this thing does not have a lot of turret positions. It really doesn't. On the back, I did add more stock turrets. So basically, I figured you would probably be running from things that are moving fast, like drones. So what you have is you have some. Oh, do I not have that on there now? Oh no, I didn't put a turret there. That's right. Where did I put the turrets? I thought I had a bunch of turrets. I can't see nothing. Oh, I got stuff docked. I know I added some turrets to this. I know, okay, yeah, we got those turrets, but there was supposed to be some on the bottom side here, but maybe I stripped them on this one again. I don't even know what's going on. I guess I just gotta pop on some of these again. Whoops. I didn't put any. I was trying to really not have like turrets. Retractable turrets are really cool. You know, of course they retract, but the collision model on them, even if they're retract, still count as they're not retracted, which is a big inconvenience, because you know, if you embed like a turret in a place and you think, oh, it's out of the way, it's going to be safe there, and it's not going to interfere with someone docking because it's retracted, it still does. So it's kind of just like placing a non-retractable turret. As far as I know, unless I'm wrong on that. Hope I'm not wrong. But, well, actually, I hope I am wrong. I'm hoping it would work better. But yeah, there's some turrets on here, and I guess that's another thing. I gotta put back a couple turrets on the back. I must have stripped off when I was texturing more down there. So that's probably why they're not here. It should have had 4 turrets on the back, and it seems that I've got 4 turret mount locations, and I took off the turrets. That'll fill in the rest of that CPU, I'm pretty sure. So it'll be right up there at the 3.7 million, at least this version. All right. Well, anyway, thanks a lot to everyone that's made modules so far. And this is all before the ship even hit the workshop, and that's cool. So yeah, my plan is Sunday on releasing the ship, probably by about noon or 1 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, if you guys want to release your modules, I mean, release them when you want to, but basically, if I see the modules and I know you release them, what I'll do is I might just have to make for the short time, I will go through and I'll add all the different modules to the workshop post. But later on, I might even branch this off to its own like collection, so we can so all the modules can keep sorted and nice, and it's easier adding things to a collection than it is to constantly like link everything to a post. I think it's a little cleaner too, especially if you have a lot. If there's a couple, no big deal, but if you all of a sudden you're looking at a workshop post and you got this big long list of all these links all over the place, that's kind of a pain in the butt. So probably go that route. All right. Well, anyway, y'all have yourselves a good weekend, and yeah. Next week since this will be out of the way, and I'll probably work on something new. Might work on Excalibur's challenge. That could end up actually, and that is for a salvage CV. Which I might actually try to make one of those that is can be a module, salvage module mining CV, like all intact in one, so it does everything and fits in one of the module bays. I think that'd be kind of a nice thing to have. I love the Plutos. I don't want to ever get rid of the Plutos, but if I can make something that fits in here that works just as good and has increased capability of being able to salvage as well, that'd be a good goal, I think. Something I could use that would fit easier. Then you wouldn't have to drag the Plutus around. You could use a module bay. But yeah, there's so many modules to pick from now. I love it. All right, see you later, everybody.